Today we're going to talk about a topic that's on everyone's mind, and that is 2012. Since I'm recording this in the year 2012, and you'll be viewing this in 2012, and 2012 has been such a significant year for people in terms of all kinds of thinking. It's been a kind of a mainstay of New Age thinking for a long time, and as many of you know, I think its origin lies in the Mayan calendar, which seems to abruptly stop the year 2012, and that I think has given rise to all kinds of things, all kinds of theories about what this means, whether it means the end of the world, actually, whether it's the end of the world as we know it, in terms of there'll be a dawning of a kind of a spiritual consciousness, that there'll be a new awakening, and I think when you work with the Course, all you could do is kind of step back in bemusement and say, how silly. If there is no time and there is no world, then what difference does it make what the calendar says? What difference does it make what group of people, however wise they might have been referring to? What difference does it make if people relate 2012 to solar activity, or to or planetary movements, or anything, or hundredth monkey ideas that somehow there's going to be a conglomerate of people changing their consciousness and now kind of tip the scales and we'll all be healed as one. That's why it's always so helpful to keep in mind what the Course is saying, that since there's no time and there's no space and there only is a mind, all that matters is what happens in that mind. And despite the illusion of there being seemingly billions and billions upon billions and trillions of fragments of the sun, of the original sonship, there's only one sun. And that's why there's that very important question and answer in the teacher's manual: how many teachers of God are needed to save the world? And the answer is one. And the one is not necessarily Jesus or Buddha or many other enlightened being. That one is you, whoever the you is who is studying this Course. Because when your individual mind is healed and you've accepted the atonement for yourself, and there's no judgment, and there's no specialness, and there's no projection, there's only that peace of God within you, and you actually are residing all the time in that quiet center, in that stately calm within, then your mind is healed, and then you realize there's no separation. If there's no separation, there's only one Son of God. One Son of God in the illusion that seemed to have separated from the source, and one Son of God in heaven as Christ. And so that's why there's only one teacher of God needed to save the world, because when your mind is saved, we're all saved. All right? That's what Jesus means in the Course, and it's said twice, when it says that we were with him when he arose, when he awakened from the dream of death, which is, of course, the definition of resurrection, having nothing to do with the biblical myths. That when he accepted the atonement for himself, we were all with him, because there's only one Son. So whether this happens in 2012, or 2112, or 2013, or it's already happened in 1942, it doesn't make any difference, since there is no time. And that's really important. That's why I always emphasize when I teach that as a student of this Course, both in terms of trying to understand what it says and then living it, that you never leave the metaphysics too far behind you, because that's what always keeps you on the straight and narrow with this Course. And the non-dualistic metaphysics of the Course tells us, again, that there is no world. You know, in the workbook, Jesus says this is the central lesson this Course attempts to teach. There is no world. There's no world because it's a projection of a tiny mad idea that never happened. So how could nothing coming from nothing be something? And how could something significant happen in a year that never happened anyway? So it's really important to understand that, so you don't get caught up in the hullabaloo and you think that somehow there's going to be this magnificent awakening and dawning of Christ consciousness that's going to heal the planet. That's absurd. What planet can be healed? What has to be healed is your mind that thinks there's a planet that will be healed by December 31st, 2012, or any other date that people say. Now, a lot of people are going to be very disappointed when they wake up on New Year's Day 2013 and the same miserable mess of a world is there, whether it's their personal world or what's going on in the Middle East or in Africa or Latin America or in Washington. Nothing will change. What will change is your individual awareness. What will change is your mind. And that will say, basically, and mean it in a kindly way, what world? What world has to be healed? what consciousness has to be elevated. The Course tells us that the consciousness was the first split that was introduced into the mind after the separation, and therefore consciousness is a domain of the ego. Well, why do you want to advance a consciousness or awaken a consciousness that doesn't exist? So again, it's really important as a student of the Course that you're not split off its metaphysics and then get caught up in all the excitement about a year, once again, that the Course doesn't even recognize. So the best thing to do with all the concerns about 2012 is to just do your daily lessons and leave the calendar to be itself. And just kind of practice your forgiveness lessons day in and day out as best you can.